everyone. Thanks for joining us again at Two Good Sports. Good to have your company, Greggy.
Yeah, mate. Good to be with you. It's been an interesting weekend, hasn't it? Not just in football, but weather all along the east coast of Australia.
Yeah, it has. Look, let's get into the big news item, Greggy. At the moment, it's sort of a silly season, isn't it? But the biggest one, I guess, the biggest coup at the moment has been Divid Fifita. It's been the longest-running saga as far as signings. He's signed for the Titans on a 3-year deal. You're taking it.
Yeah, they were talking to us even going to get it to November because apparently he's swapping managers, but thank God we've got over and done with. I wouldn't pay that money for a back rower. I think that's halfback 5'8" sort of pay. You know, a very good hooker, but halfback 5'8", that's a Cleary, Keary or Munster sort of pay. I wouldn't pay that. Great player. Titans had to make a play for somebody. They've got a big fish. They're paid overs, in my opinion, but they're always going to. Yourself?
No, I agree. I think they have to pay overs. I agree as far as, you know, that money being better spent at a playmaker. Maybe it was a playmaker like a Caesar, and they could have gotten a season forward as well for that price. But at the end of the day, they've got him. They've got a really good young forward pack next year. They've probably got 3 or 4 of the biggest names, young up-and-coming stars in their forward pack for next year. I still think they need a playmaker. I agree with you. Interestingly, a few people have said, he, could have stuck with the Broncos. The Broncos stuck by him with the Barley fiasco and whatnot. Look, he's 20 years old. I believe it was something like an extra $800,000. Money talks. Tallis has come out and said he'll be his mentor on the Gold Coast. He'll be part of the makeup. Apparently, had a big partner. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Yeah,
I agree, mate. It's going to be very, very interesting. Does it put more pressure on Ash Taylor or take some off him? It's an interesting sort of scenario now with Ash Taylor because basically now he's going to have a forward pack, in my opinion, that's going to be going forward. So he's going to be getting nice early ball. I think, it opens it up for him. Let's see how he plays.
I really hope he does go well. He's had a lot hanging over him, the $1 million player. AJ Brimson will be back.
Yes.
I believe next week, but he'll have a full season next year. He'll take a lot of pressure. I wouldn't be surprised if he plays in the halves. I'm really impressed by Fogarty. I think he's done well. He's really stepped up. I think he sort of led them a little bit more than Taylor in some ways. Interesting times, I guess, for the Titans, and they've indicated they haven't stopped yet. So they're looking at John Asiata. They've obviously bought Herman Asiasi.
Yeah, he'd be good.
So they're forward pack.
Brian James is a big loss. I think I agree with you. I think you talked about that off air. That's a big loss.
I think so for the work he does off the field too, mate.
Yep. Yeah.
Let's talk about, we're talking about the sides. I know we've got a limited time. We're talking about sides, the movers and shakers. Another side is the Bulldogs. Their last few weeks, I think they've put in some really gutsy efforts. As a matter of fact, they had a good win on the weekend. No one picked them against Newcastle.
Yeah.
They've obviously gotten Thompson, the big English international Thompson. He's been really impressive.
Yep.
And they've got another couple of signings already. Nick Kotrick,
Yeah, I still think they lack a little bit at fullback. Well, they're going to make Kotrick into fullback, I take it. They lack halves like Kieran Foran. I don't know how he is. I think they need another half and they need a hooker. So I hope they've got about another 1.8 million left because they need them badly, in my opinion. Yes, they'll improve next year. I think South will go backwards, to be honest. I really don't see much in South. They're on the downward slide for me. But Titans, I think we talked about that previously. Titans, they'll improve out of sight. So, Titans for me more so than Canterbury, to be honest. Yourself?
No, I think the Titans. It's just, look, you mentioned that man, Ashley Taylor. I think he's going to be pivotal. Otherwise, they'll be looking at AJ Brimson at 5'8", and I'd imagine Thompson, who's really a Michael Gordon type player. He's safe. He doesn't have mistakes in him. He's not a James Tedesco type player. Not many people are. I think that's where they'll look at next year if that doesn't work. I think Fogarty's actually done enough now to deserve his spot. He looks like he belongs there, doesn't he?
Yeah, I like him. I find it interesting, the Tigers, they've got a bit of a habit of coming 9th every year. I think that actually is detrimental. You're almost better off having a really, really bad season because you then rather than coming 9th, you think, we just pick up 1 or 2 players and we'll do it. But you have a really bad season, you just clear it out. And every team that's coming, look at Parramatta a couple of years coming last, Newcastle coming last, look at the improvement of them. But the Tigers, they've been at 9th, 10th every year. So the clean out might be really good for Canterbury and the Titans.
Yeah. Just lastly on Divid Fifita, we know it's a boon for the Titans. You know, they have struggled to get big name players. It could be potentially a boon for the Broncos too. I've read a lot of comments from Broncos supporters and Broncos former players in the last couple of days. It does clear up some money. It does give them an opportunity now to look at their playmakers, that 1, 6, 7 position particularly. I think their 9 is sort of covered with Turpin. And that may give them that opportunity to go and say, let's have a look at a player who can get us, you know, get us structured. I think the Brodie Croft experiment so far hasn't worked. I'm not saying that's it yet. Milford, to me, just looks lost. They've tried him, obviously, at 5'8" for most of the time. He's at fullback. He's got another year on his contract, but it may give them an opportunity to, by unloading Fifita and a few other guys. Also, it might give them an opportunity to an early payout for Seabold, assisting that in some way, shape, or form.
I'd be going all out Munster if I was them.
Absolutely. Yep.
Everything.
Throwing the farm at him.
Yep.
We'd like to hear your views on this too, folks at home. What you think? I think everyone's got their 2 bobs worth of, that what's happening there. Obviously, the Broncos are a one-city team, and so they're getting a fair bit of press. And at the moment, a lot of it's bad. Potentially, they could pick up their first wooden spoon after another flogging on the weekend, but we'll talk about that at another time. But, Greggy, that's us. Until next time, folks, keep checking us out on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and our website, toogoodsports.com.au. Till next time, Greggy.
Yep. Right, I see. How about kick to the corner, eh?